All right, hey everyone, welcome to another Discount Ted video. Today I figured I would talk about what are all the things you need for your first car track day. And the first thing we'll talk about is the car itself and the will to go do it. I'm just going to be the first advocate that tells you, just go do the track day. If you're interested, just go do it. You've got your daily driver and that's the only car you have. I don't care, just go do it. You don't need a lot and it's very attainable and you'll be addicted, and I need more addicts out there to help me with my addiction. So, obviously, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got my track prepped car and everything beyond that I'm going to show you. You don't need all of that. Use your regular car. You do need it to pass tech. So, what do you need to pass tech? The first thing you'll need is a car with good tires. So they don't need to be performance tires, but they need to make sure they have tread left. They're not super old and dried and cracked. Just, some tires that'll work and make you through the day. So if you've got relatively new tires of any sort, you're fine. The other thing you'll need to check are your brakes. So you got to make sure that you've got good brake pad life left and good brake caliper life left, sorry, not caliper, rotor life left. If you don't know how to check those things, that's okay. A lot of organizations will require you to get a tech inspection by a mechanic shop. And a lot of those organizations will have recommendations for which shops to go to, and often they do these check inspections for free. So it's very quick for a mechanic to go in and just tell you, hey, do you have at least 50% life left on your pads and, probably 50% or more life left on your rotors. And the reason you need that much, it's not that you're necessarily going to go through half of your brake pad life in one track day, but you might, and you want to make sure you've got some brakes left by the end of the day. So, if you're not comfortable checking those things out, just find any mechanic, talk to the organization that is putting the event on and see if they have recommendations. They probably do. And get your car checked out. So those are the main two things to start. The second thing is make sure you're not leaking any fluids. Dropping oil or coolant on the track is a big problem for not just you, but everyone else that's out there on the track. So, does it need to be perfect and not a single drop under your car on the in the driveway? No, like they're not going to check to that extent. But make sure it's not wet. Make sure you're not creating problems for other people. And that's really it. So your daily driver Honda Accord or whatever, it can do a track day. Go do it, and you'll have a ton of fun. So that's the first thing you need. You need a car. If you're talking about motorcycle track days, you'll need a lot more gear, and you need a motorcycle that generally meets these same requirements. So it has to have good tires, has to have brakes, and has to not be leaking. And if you want to go do a motorcycle track day, I encourage you to do that as well. It's a ton of fun. So, got your car settled. What does it need? Does it have to have special race seats and harnesses and all that stuff? No, it doesn't. Just whatever your car came with is fine. And did I need to go buy this track car for me to go do track days and be really active in it? No, I didn't. But don't tell my wife that because I told her I did. So you gotta have a car. You do need some minimum safety. Over here, you need a helmet. Does it have to have cool stickers? No, but it looks cool with cool stickers. Or it could be a cool helmet with no stickers. In this case, I bought a motorcycle helmet. This is an HJC I-10, I think it is. I bought it from Revzilla. I recommend that site for motorcycle gear. They're pretty good. And it was a couple of $100. It's not a big deal, at least not in this grand scheme of things. If you don't have a helmet, contact the organization. They probably have loaners around, or they have helmets for sale. But budget, $150 to $250 is probably what you need as a minimum requirement for a good, safe helmet. You can spend a whole lot more than that, but that'll get you at least in the door. So you need a helmet. I've got a cooler here. I've got that in my list of needs. Now I'm going to talk about a list of wants, things that you want at a track. I'm going to say that you need a cooler. Unless you're at a very, very massive track that has a whole bunch of infrastructure to it, you're probably going to need some snacks. You're going to need some water, and you just generally need to make sure that your body is keeping up with the whole day. Just get a small cooler, put ice water, Gatorade, some fruit, protein bars, whatever you want in there. Make sure you bring that. Then I've also got a big old Marshall's tote bag. It doesn't have to be a Marshall's tote bag. It could be a TJ Maxx tote bag. I don't care, but You want a big old tote bag, and the reason for that is you want to empty your car out when you get to the track. So your floor mats, your glove box, your center console, all the stuff that's in the back hatch that you probably forgot about. Empty all that out. Anything that moves that shouldn't, take it out, and just shove it all in this tote bag. Leave it kind of where you pit, and believe it or not, people at track events are generally pretty trustworthy. Your stuff won't disappear. And then the last thing I'm going to say that you absolutely need is a tire pressure gauge. It doesn't have to be this nice of a tire pressure gauge, but you want a tire pressure gauge. Some people might say this is a want, especially if you have tire pressure monitoring. Maybe you don't need this. I'm going to tell you, you just need to know your tire pressures throughout the day. So bring a tire pressure gauge, check it after each session, and just make sure that you're not getting way high in tire pressure, and you won't ruin your tires. So that's it. That's a pretty short list, in my opinion. I think people think track days are this really it's a big barrier of entry. It's not. Take your daily driver car out, get a helmet, grab a cooler, grab one of your shopping bags, and go have a boatload of fun. Now, is that all the stuff I bring to the track? Obviously not. I bring a lot of things. And let's talk about those. What are the other things you're going to want? So, you're going to want somewhere to sit. Bring yourself a camping chair. Doesn't have to be anything special, but just bring a camp chair. And the second thing you're going to want is an easy up tent. Unless you're at some special track, most of the time, shade is at a premium. And having some shade and having some chairs, well, that'll make you friends out at the track. And friends' tools all of a sudden become tools you can use, and friends' lunches become lunches you can steal when they're not paying attention. It's just a win-win. Bring shade, bring chairs. I've got one chair here. I typically bring like 4 chairs to a track event because there's always people that don't bring them, and they don't take a ton of space. It's fine. I can throw those in the car. I also have some tie downs here. That's just a little life hack. If you've got yourself a easy up, when you're out on the asphalt at the track, you can't really stake that guy down. So just bring some tie downs, tie it down to the top of the easy up, and then the bottom to your tote full of crap, and maybe the other one to your cooler. And it just gives you enough stake down sort of weight that you don't have to worry about the thing flying away on you. If it's a windy day, obviously, throw that out the window. You just won't have shade that day. So you've got shade, you've got somewhere to sit, you've got snacks, all that. That's a pretty good track day. The next thing is I tend to bring some basic tools. So I don't want to bring my whole toolbox, but the more you bring, the less you'll need, and I recommend having a little extra stuff. So the first thing I like to bring, this is just a 12-volt tire inflator. Doesn't really matter which one you get. Just don't get a total junk one. I think this one was like $30 on Amazon, so you don't have to spend a bunch for one. But a little tire pressure or a little tire inflator, because what generally happens at the track is throughout the day your tires get hotter and hotter, get to higher and higher PSI, and you're taking air out. And then finally, after your last session, everything cools down, you've hung out for a little bit, and you've got to drive home. So at that point, you went from probably 40 pounds of pressure when you first showed up there down to, say, 25 at the end of the day. You could drive home on 25 pounds of pressure, but if you're driving 300 miles, you might want to put some air in the tires, and having a little inflator certainly helps. Next set of tools I like, I've got a really cheap socket set here. That's probably overkill. The number of times I've opened that at a track day is 0. I never actually used it at a track day, but because I have it, I don't need it. I've also got some suspension tools. I've got some gloves and garbage bags. I definitely bring a garbage bag. Don't leave litter all over the place. I've got some masking tape. Having masking tape is a good idea. A lot of organizations require you to put numbers on your car. Masking tape's a good quick way to do that it won't mess up your paint. I also bring a battery jump box, mainly because I bring one with me everywhere. Not just the track day, but I like to have that in the car. I bring some extra fluids for the car, so I've got here's some oil. I generally bring coolant as well. I've got brake fluid here, although generally I don't need to bring that. I've got sunscreen. You should bring sunscreen. And I've got a little multi-tool with like pliers and drivers and a wrench set. And that's it. So, you bring just some hand tools to take care of things that you need, some extra chemicals just to make sure. I generally bring coolant. I think I already said that. Bring some shade. Bring your helmet. Bring your car. And honestly, it's gonna It's probably gonna be a little stressful. You're gonna make some mistakes, but you'll also have a ton of fun after you do it. Just go and have a ball, and you'll be back for more. I can almost guarantee it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Wait, one quick edit to add. I forgot that there are people out there who drive convertibles, and if you drive a convertible, odds are the organization that you work with is going to require that you have some sort of real rollover protection, not just like a little trim piece, what have you. So there is one thing especially you got to consider about your car if you're driving a convertible to the track. A lot of cars, Z4s, Boxsters, I think they have rollover protection that most organizations will accept. But yeah, if you've got a BMW 1 Series like I do, but it's a convertible, you have to figure out some kind of rollover protection for it before you go to the track. And quite frankly, you'll want that. You probably won't crash at the track, but if you do, you don't want to end up on your lid without rollover protection. So, yeah, one thing to think about if you happen to drive a convertible, make sure that you have rollover protection before you go to the track with it. If you have a convertible, you don't have that. Odds are you can probably find like a neighbor or friend that's got a cool car that'll trade you for a nice sunny weekend. Just don't tell them you're taking it to the track. It's fine. Anyway, thanks everyone.